Hello guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my channel is all about music stuff. This is going to be the first video where I'm actually going to release a short tutorial on something simple. So without further ado, it's no secret, some chord progressions are just more commonly used than others. I don't know, maybe human beings kind of evolved as a society to like certain chord progressions just a lot more because of the way it sounds to our ears. But it's true, this chord progression is actually found in a lot of pop songs. So for those of you who don't know what a chord progression is, basically it's just a sequence of chords that are played over a period of time, sometimes repetitively. This is particularly true in pop songs, especially in the chorus or the verse, where you're playing just a single chord progression many times until that section is over. So for example, all you have to do is just to learn a 4-chord progression and maybe just play it 4 to 8 times and you are done with that part of the song. So for the purposes of demonstration, I will not be using a key that contains a lot of black keys. In fact, I'm just going to start with C major and we're going to move from there. So the first chord in this 4-chord progression is A minor. So another way to call A minor is chord number 6. So why do I actually use these numbers, right? And the reason is because if I'm going to a different key, I can actually just derive the same chord progression using the numbers alone. But how do I get this number in the first place? Well, you just count up from the key that you're in. So right now I'm in C major. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And when I count to 6, I get A minor. Right? So that's why I know that A minor is chord number 6. Okay, so if I'm moving to, let's say, a different key like G major, all right, all I have to do is to count up 6 again. So G, A, B, C, D, E, right, and I get E. E is the 6th chord in G major, right? So E minor in G major is analogous to A minor in C major, right? So you notice that they both sound, right, kind of similar, right? Sad, moody, right? Typical of a minor chord. Okay, so now I know my first chord in the chord progression, which is number 6, chord 6 or A minor. Right, what do I do next? Okay, so we're going to move on to the next concept, which is actually the voicing or the fingering, right? Both are actually interlinked. So the voicing refers to, well, how do you play the notes that are in the chord? Okay, so first of all, A minor has 3 main notes, which is A, C, and E. Okay, so depending on how you arrange it, you can get a different kind of sound. So I can have a very open sound. Okay, I can have a very close sound. Okay, so it really depends on how you are arranging these 3 notes in your playing. All right, so as a good practice, I like to start with just this very simple configuration. So to break it down, on the right hand, right, you play A, C, and E with your thumb, your middle finger, and your pinky, like this. And on your left hand, you play A on your pinky and a slightly higher A, right? So together, right, you actually cover up to 3 octaves here, and then you play the C and the E on top, right? So this is a good voicing to practice. 3 fingers on the right hand, 2 fingers on the left hand, and you just want to play them together for now. Okay, so now that I know my voicing and my fingering, what do I do next? I'm moving on to the next concept, which is the rhythm. All right, so we're going to use a very simple rhythm as well, just in 4/4. So that will be 4 counts in a bar, right? So your right hand is going to go a bit faster than your left hand, and it's going to sound something like this. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So every time I count to 4, I just go back to 1. And my right hand is playing once per count, but my left hand is holding for the entire 4 counts or the entire bar. Okay, so once again, 1, 2, 3, 4, and again you hold with the left hand, 2, 3, 4. And when you start, trying to make sure that they come down together nicely, 3, 4. Right, you want to avoid things like this for now, right? Just control your hands nicely. 2, 3, 4. Make sure that you're using your fingers and coming down firmly so that the sound is good and controlled. Okay. Alright, so the first chord was A minor, and the second chord that we're going to learn today is actually going to be F major. So what's the chord number for F major? All we have to do is to just count up from C again. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So F major is chord number 4 in the key of C major. So previously we had chord number 6, now we have chord number 4. How are we going to play this chord number 4, this F major? We're going to apply the exact same voicing and fingering as well as the same rhythm that we used for A minor, just for the purpose of practice. Okay, so let's just find our keys. Starting with the left hand first, we've got the pinky playing the low F, and then we have the thumb playing a slightly higher F, right? So this is for our left hand, and then our right hand is going to play the F above the left hand thumb's F. Okay, so it's going to be like this, and we're going to add the A and the C on top with our middle finger and our pinky on our right hand, right? So in total we have these 5 notes again, and we're going to use the same rhythm. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and practice until you're very consistent with this chord. Okay, so far we have A minor and F major, also known as 6 and 4. What's the next chord in our 4-chord progression? Okay, it's just gonna be C major. So obviously we don't really have to count this one. This is just chord number 1 in the key of C. Now we are going to apply the exact same voicing and fingering and rhythmic pattern that we used in the previous chords to C major as well. Okay, so without further ado, our left pinky, our left thumb, our right thumb, right middle finger, and our right pinky. Okay, if you prefer to play 1 octave higher, you can do so like this. It's the exact same voicing pattern, the exact same rhythm. You just keep it nice and consistent until you're very comfortable with voicing C major in this manner. Okay, so we have come full circle and we are now at the last chord of our 4-chord progression. So previously we had A minor followed by F major followed by C major. What's the next chord? Okay, so some of you who are more advanced would have probably guessed it. It's G major. So in terms of the chord numbering, we actually have 6 followed by 4 followed by 1 and finally ending with 5. So this is also known as the 6-4-1-5 chord progression, and this is extremely common in pop music. Before we continue with that, let's practice our fingering and voicing and rhythmic pattern for G major. Okay, so left hand pinky, left hand thumb, right hand thumb on the 3 G's, followed by right hand middle finger and right hand pinky, and we play 4 times on the right hand. hold on the left hand. Make sure it's nice and consistent before moving on. So now that we have learned our 4 chords in this 4-chord progression, the 6-4-1-5 chord progression, what do we do next? How do we practice to make sure that we are fluent? Okay, so you just put all of these chords together, you string them together, and you play them in a sequence. So we're going to start off with A minor, right? So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. F major 1, 2, 3, 4. C major 1, 2, 3, 4. And G major next. Right, it's starting to sound like a pop song already, right? So just keep it nice and consistent. Make sure that your fingers are fluent, right? That they can hop between the keys nicely without mispressing. Keep them nice and firm. Okay, and we'll end off with the G major. 2, 3, 4. Okay, so just keep practicing like this until you're satisfied with your speed, your tempo, and your fluency. So once you're comfortable with the basics of moving your hands around the 4 chords, you can experiment with different voicings. You can even try arpeggios. You can also try different rhythms. All right. Okay, so that was just a more advanced way of playing the same chord progression. So I will not be going through the methods of playing in that manner in this video. Maybe in subsequent videos I'll talk about different ways of voicing chords and so on and so forth. But for today, I just wanted to share with you the 6-4-1-5 chord progression. And if you're a beginner, right, just practice as I have told you to, and of course add in other practices to your repertoire to make sure that your fingers are nice and firm and strong and consistent, and that you can jump between the different chords fluently. So for now, I just want to show you an application of this 4-chord pattern and why it's so powerful, why you can play so many songs with it. I'm going to play for you a medley of songs, and you can see if you can identify all of them. I think there's at least 4 or 5, maybe even 6. Kind of lost count, but yeah, we'll see. Let me know in the comments if you are able to identify all of them, and I hope that you enjoy my cover of this medley of songs. So that's all for today. I hope you have learned a lot and enjoyed yourself. Let me know in the comments if there's any kind of content that you'd like me to cover, and I'll try to do so in my next video. For now, like and subscribe, it'll go a very long way to helping this channel grow. Thank you for staying all the way. See you around.